All right, cool gods and goddesses in training. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking all about social shamanism, okay? So, who is Primal Sutra? What am I doing here? Primal Sutra is a collective where we take ancient wisdom and incorporate it into modern insights and solve modern problems, okay? So, when we look at ourselves as shamans, we understand that we have the ability to biohack. We have the ability to take the pharmacy that is already within our brains. We have the ability to look at our minds and really study our minds. And we also have the ability to tap into the state of flow. Okay. Now, the state of flow is transient hypofrontality. So you're shutting down the prefrontal cortex temporarily in order for you to do something, to take action, right? Because when you're taking action, you're not thinking so much about taking that action. You're just in it, right? You're in the experience of it. So when you've got to reprogram your subconscious mind, there are three things, right? Novelty, repetition, and intensity. So if you can do a combination of all of these three throughout the time that you're socializing or even going out or doing certain things where, it sounds like a paradox to say this because a lot of shamans, they go into isolation, including myself. I like to be in my own worlds. But then little breaks from that isolation into the real world where I start to pull this glorious, majestic information and just share it with the world, like share so much wisdom and knowledge that has been hidden, from us. So if you incorporate the magical principle of as within, so without, you understand that what you're feeling internally is something that you are giving out externally. Okay. This video is not going to be that long, but I want to just keep flowing as much as possible and just explain this to you guys. So when you do these techniques correctly, you will let go of certain people in your life. Why? Because your timelines will shift, your timeline will change. And I want to give that warning before we go ahead, because a lot of the times when we reprogram the mind, we forget to reframe the evidence, and the proof is what knocks a belief off of its high horse. So when we find the evidence to disprove a certain limiting belief, we get the power back internally. Okay. Now, growing up, there might have been a lot of social trauma for you, different experiences where maybe girls are rejecting you, or you're getting blindsided, or you're getting betrayed by someone, or you're getting, humiliated, whatever it is, right? You got to understand, going through those memories and rewriting those memories are going to be so, so key for you. Okay. Almost like you're giving yourself, what I like to do is I envision the old memory and I play it like a movie. And what I'll do is I will change the imprint of the memory. I will massage the new outcome over the old memory. So as the old memory is happening, I'm also massaging my body in order to remind my body that I am here now, right? This is who I am now. That was the past, okay? And even then, this technique that I'm going to share with you guys, where you basically forget that you have a past, is going to be very, very key for you to access this kind of social shamanism, okay? So if you have some Qigong practice, Kundalini practice, Tai Chi practice, whatever, anything that circulates your energy around, okay? It could be calisthenics, it could be Vajra Dragon Yoga, which we are pioneers in Primal Sutra, in this field, okay? This new emerging field of esoterica and almost occult sciences. And this idea that you forget that you have a past is almost this blank slate method. It's Mushin, it's zero mind. So let's say that you are talking about a certain conversation, you get really annoyed, you bring it up, that you're annoyed by it, it triggers your core wound or something, and then you kind of skip past it. As you're going on in this conversation, you're going to have instances where you're brought back to that little tiny memory. Are you able to drop it and be like, that was the past? You see what I'm saying? Like, can you just be like, let me just press the refresh button? When you refresh a website, right? It refreshes. It's completely new. It's completely novel again. You see, so that's the ability to understand novelty. Now, for the repetition, it's like you have to find the harmony between them, right? Too much repetition, not enough novelty. You won't have uh, that pull, that momentum. It's almost like a momentum code, right? So, to less intensity, let's say, okay? Like if you're doing a lot of classes, right? But you're not putting your grit into those classes. You're not putting your passion into those classes. So that's what you're going to be observing, unfortunately, right? So it's all really about your true understanding of this, to lose yourself in the moment, to hear these smells, these tastes, and to taste your thoughts, almost like synesthesia. Have you guys ever heard of this? Synesthesia, right? You want to get to a point where when you're visualizing, you're merging, like you're hearing smells, right? You're tasting thoughts. You are, what do I say? You're touching colors, let's say. Okay, you can feel how a color feels. Now, this is where your senses get overlapped, right? And it creates this bridge of a sensory blast. This bridge of a sensory blast is one of these secrets towards reprogramming the mind, but also timeline jumping. Because once you reprogram the mind, you do jump a specific timeline because your brain is different, and your brain is like the facilitator of all of this, right? So if you're editing your brain and you're working on your brain health, ultimate, right? If you make brain health the ultimate, I am the one, the one, the one, okay? Ultimate, ultimate, I am the ultimate. If you make your brain the ultimate, it's going to really take you to a whole nother level, man. Okay, whole nother level. Because your brain is oftentimes what gets in the way, okay? That's the one that's going, wait a second, maybe you shouldn't have done that, okay? It's kind of second guessing yourself randomly, right? When doubt comes out, you doubt it, okay? So let's say that you are in a social interaction, someone's doubting you, like, is your value really, really that low, right? That you feel this need to appease this person who's right in front of you. You don't even know them, right? They could be an absolute bozo for all you know. You have no idea, but you are basing it off of what? Their appearance, right? Their vibe, who they are, what do they represent? Are they important in my life? It's kind of a selfish need to socialize, right? In the beginning, until we start doing the inner work and actually understanding that there is a lot of benefits to understanding someone else's world. And oftentimes somebody else's inner world can look completely different to ours, right? And that's important too. So at Primal Sutra, we create this understanding that our spirituality is going to seep into our socializing, and our socializing is going to seep into our spirituality, because everything already is spirit. You see what I'm saying? So this social tantra, as we like to call it, is basically this idea of how can I merge with this other person? Like, that person looks so different to me. They're dressed in different jewelry. I'm not in their tribe, but can I be introduced into their tribe as an outsider, as somebody who's an outcast, an outlaw, somebody who doesn't maybe fit the mold, but they're important in the video game of life to them? You see, this is what we're working with, because we understand that the social shaman is almost the medicine man, the priest of the village, the one, or the priestess, right? The one who is basically creating an echo chamber, right? A bridge between metaphysical and physical, understanding how to heal themselves using the herbs that are already around them, right? Using resourcefulness, not using what? Perfectionism or laziness, like slacking, right? So resourcefulness is this powerful energy. It's a powerful energy of being able to use whatever you have right now, not constantly seeking for what you don't have, creating more lack, you know? Why are you creating more lack? Why are you creating more panic? Why are you creating more resistances on top of resistances? That's not going to help you, because The enemy of the artist is tension. If you have more tension in the body, if you have more nervousness, that means your nervous system isn't relaxed. And it makes sense that you're giving a public speech and you're freezing up, because back in the day, tribes would have wanted to kill you if you weren't aligned with that particular. We were savages, bro. We were savages, but we forgot, right? And so understand that that savage mentality has slowly changed over time. We've become more hyper intelligent. We've started to travel and create agriculture and explore different places around the world and all this globalization happening. But if you take it back to the core, take it back to the primal, we were just these animals that were completely present, following our instincts, smelling for food, or going through the nature and understanding that, if a gazelle is running away from me as a lion, it has two choices or two options. It can either go left or right. But what if it darts left and then goes right? What if it fakes me out, right? Now that's creating some level of an interest in this video game, actually. And this is why in the social scenarios, we sometimes will play hard to get. We don't want them to perceive us as too easy or too, always attainable, right? To keep this value about you and this rareness, this rawness, this royalty, you got to practice actually holding your space, right? And holding your own and knowing who you are and setting your boundaries with people. But you can't set boundaries with people if you aren't used to setting boundaries. You don't want to have awkward conversations, right? You don't want to have very important, awkward conversations with people that might get you towards the next level, you know? But once you truly reveal that, once you understand that this is not me, man, this is something going on in the background. This is my subconscious mind preventing me from something. This is some weird self-sabotage thing, that's coming up. You a lot of guys, they have a secret fantasy. Do you know what it is? A lot of men, I'm talking to the men. Women have this too. Of course, if you've grown up with different attachment styles, specifically fearful or anxious, avoidant, you understand this. So you want to be a monk. Okay, let me say that again. You want to be a monk. Now, not a monk in the way that you're a bodhisattva, but you want to enlighten everyone along with you and you care for the planet and you have compassion. No, this is a mental imagery that you create where you're like, I want to get away from everything, right? I want to live off the grid. This world is too much for me. Okay, I'm too sensitive as an empath. I want to get out of this planet, right? That feeling. And if you're a monk, you can just go live in a cave somewhere, or you just go to a monastery and just do the same thing. And you have that novelty, repetition, and intensity, already handled for you. Think about this. So oftentimes we have to reflect on where our core needs, our core wounds, and our core needs. Okay, our core wounds are things that are like invisible trauma strings that are in the background. And our core needs are these invisible desire strings that are in the background, right? And needs are like the bottom of the hierarchy of the Maslow, right? The survival needs. You need to survive. Okay? You need to survive. A lot of women think that, women's development is like, you're doing women's development from a masculine self-help frame, which isn't going to be helping you ultimately. You get that? Like, I think female empowerment comes down to embodiment first and foremost. Because if women are still living in their heads, they're living in their mind, they're living in the masculine still. They're not embodied. We need the embodiment of the nurturing and the presence of the divine feminine right now on this planet, right? We've seen too many times on this journey, okay, to not know that that's a reality, to not believe that that's a fact, that we're going to lean into it. But what if you encountered a social interaction? You see somebody, right? And you just forget about who you are for that moment, and you get genuinely curious, almost like sensors outside of you, things that reflect back to you, divine. You become a divine mirror in that moment, rather than thinking of all the excuses. Oh, they're with their friends. Probably, yikes. Okay, she probably has a boyfriend. Oh, maybe I shouldn't go there. She's with her parents, or I don't know if that's really the right way to go about this, though. Like, people will look at me. We have all these rationalizations and things in our heads, right? When we're about to interact with someone or be social at times. And it's your own storyline, man. It is what you're mentally creating these images. They're not true. They're not true. It could be her cousin. It could be, someone completely random, And when you start making assumptions over the facts, that's when you take away from your shamanism, actually, right? Now, you can make calculated delusional assumptions. That's different, right? That's like you saying you're the man or you're the woman. Like, you're taking care of yourself, right? You have the autonomy. I have the self-reliance. I can do it all, but also I'm there to connect with others. I'm there to merge and take down my walls and not hold so many grudges, And so it's really about exploring the internal world in such a way and giving yourself the potentiality, right? The privilege of you leaning into this aspect of you, the version of you that is so charismatic that can open any conversation with anybody. It doesn't matter if they're just like from a third world country and they don't speak the language. You can still have a conversation with them. Why? Because it's a vibe. It's an effect that you're causing, right? Through being the cause, through speaking a different kind of language. And the language we'll teach you, if you work with us, is the language of the priest or the priestess beast. Okay, which is of the highly integrated man or woman. This is what we're exploring here at Primal Sutra. This archetype will help you awaken, will prime you for Kundalini, will get you to be charismatic or alluring as a woman, right? So charisma is the male equivalent, allure is the feminine equivalent, but it's the same energy. It's that mana, that chi, that prana, whatever you want to call it, that life force energy. You can tap into that and you can make that a part of your life, okay? You can make that a part of your life and a part of your journey. And you don't need to feel ashamed about wanting to speak to somebody, right? Wanting to connect with someone and really, being in such an environment where when you start talking to someone and then you feel like you know them so much that it kind of dies down, right? Bro, I don't have that. I don't have that reality, I don't feel like if I speak to them, this engagement is going to die down or not, right? That doesn't even enter my reality. You guys get that? The way I look at it is, what's going on in front of me? What is my mindfulness telling me? It's more, a lot of coaches will tell you about state control and state dependence. I believe in state acceptance. Okay? I believe that you have to accept whatever it is that you're feeling. It could be you're feeling bad, but make that bad good in some way. You have the tech to do that. Give yourself a little massage, splash water on your face, you take a break, you stretch, you do something, to change the energy up, because you know yourself, man. All shamans, they understand themselves so well that they understand the rest of the universe, because they understand that divine reflection. So if you're speaking to a very beautiful woman in front of you, you have to find the beautiful woman in you as a man. You have to find the anima within. You get that? The representative of all female energy in your mind, your brand Shakti. You have to tap into that. You see? And if you are very well connected with this energy, hey, there'll be women around. You'll be socializing. Okay? If you have a weird relationship with your anima or Shakti. Man, weird manipulation, social experiments, people playing you, you getting caught up with too many numbers and them not calling you back, just like random flaking, just random things that will start to happen out of the blue. When you're what? Out of alignment, right? Like your divine core code is being corrupted by others around you or other people's opinions, and your life is slowly going into their hands instead of your own. You know, they're the ones controlling the driver. It's like they had a dream, you bought into their dream. Be straight up with yourself. They had a dream and you were bought into their dream. But let me tell you this, at Primal Sutra, I'm gifting you with your own dream. You don't have to be, uh, you know, like a Primal Sutra sticker that just sticks around all the time. I want you to take this tech and expand with it, grow, create reach, go to, locations where people don't know about this information and give it there. Because if you can use this tech to just speak to just a random old man from Guatemala and still use like sign language and prophesize things right in the moment, and then you could go into a high CEO meeting, like a board meeting, and just, shut shit down with your social charisma, understanding where all the big players are by knowing their vibration, by understanding you have an intuitive reach, and you see this within each soul of each person, right? So sometimes there will be this ability for you to recognize when someone is about to even kill themselves, right? I've had this ability to look at someone in the eyes and feel that dread or that desperation in someone's eyes, or someone's going to have the best day of their life. You can tell just by what? Looking in their eyes. So the eyes are really key. The eyes are really important. They're the windows to the soul. This is why we stress eye contact when we're socializing. You see, we can learn an entire novel just based on that, straight up. Just based on looking at someone directly in their eyes, we can get a sense of their world. Whether that be their eyes are dilated, whether that be they're crying, whether it be they have their shoulders hunched back, but they're looking another way, right, where their eyes are pointing. Knowing body language, knowing the hidden reservoirs or the mechanics of what's going on here will help you timeline jump. Because it will remind you that in the past, yes, I used to have it like this, but that was then and now is now. This is a completely new instance where maybe I'm in another country, right? Maybe I'm in, I don't know, Jamaica or something, right? And you're there and it's like a completely new environment. And now it's like you have to find that adaptation, right? That ability to be a freestyle shaman, the ability to find resourcefulness, creativity, innovation around you to make it work. So what are you going to do in order for you to choose this powerful new reality? What will you choose? I'm excited to know, because this journey is so open-ended, right? If God is in the answers, Goddess is in the questions. Straight up, bro. Okay? So think about this, okay? This is very, very powerful tech that I'm giving you right now, social shamanism. Be able to tap into it the best way possible, the best way that you can. As you're tuning into this video right now, give this video a thumbs up, man. Support the algorithm. YouTube has stopped supporting my videos or not giving me enough views, or I don't know. The algorithm doesn't support me in some way. So that's why I'm doing these lives, trying to get this word out there, man, so this can spread and a lot more people can learn from this. But I hope this helped you gain a new understanding today. So remember, freshness, drilling, intensity all together, creating social patterns, doing this technique correctly. Excuse me, I have a bit of ascension flu. And doing the technique correctly and reprogramming the mind so that we have a way to reframe the evidence of the limiting beliefs that we built up over social years of not socializing even, right? So this is who I am now. Blank slate. I don't have a past. I'm here now. I'm here to witness, smell the flowers, appreciate the beauty around me, like I'm born for the first time, right? What if you're born for the first time, you see somebody, you go, wow, I like the way that you're walking. You have a lot of energy today. Where are you headed to? Right? It's very authentic. It's very genuine. It's not like, hey, I think that dress is very cute. I wonder where you got it. Okay. You hear the clunkiness in the other one and the authentic flow, fluid legato style of like musicality delivery, right? In the other one. It's like really casual, dismissive. Hey, I can say it to anybody, right? That's the vibe. Whereas the other one is like it's bringing this whole agenda and it's like this heaviness of a question, like, do you want to dance? Like in prom, we used to do that, and like you feel this heaviness of asking somebody to just dance, bro. What are you doing? It's just dancing. You're just moving your physical body. You don't even have to ask. Just start dancing, man. And so sometimes you just have to take the E of the ego, drop it, and now it's just go. It's go time, right? It's go time. You guys ever watch Time Squad with Officer Tud Russell? Man, it's go time. Okay, that's kind of the energy that you want right now when it comes down to this, because the shaman is not ashamed. Okay, it's not a shaman. Some people call it a shaman. It's not ashamed, man. You know, all the shame that it has is being melted with its love. It is a tsunami of love, and it can drown anything in its supreme oneness and infinity. Thank you for watching. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you. May you never be the same again. Os. Speak soon. Let's win. Well, we already have. Let's continue to win. Os.